Hey, welcome back to the channel, and we are back with another weekly wears video where I go over every single fragrance that I wore all 7 days for the week prior. So if that is content that you think you want to see more of, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on bell notifications so you get updated whenever I upload something new. I'm going to jump right into it, starting with Sunday. So as refined, professional, put together as this next scent is, I also find it to be versatile and able to wear this casually, which is how I wore it on Sunday. I went and met some friends at our local bar just to watch the Pats lose another week in a row. I don't know what the hell's going on there. Something needs to change. But I went with this, and this is just such a beautiful scent. And I've been getting a lot of wear out of this one. Scent I'm talking about is Gris Charnel from BDK Parfums. And I just love everything about this scent. I love the presentation. I love the atomizer. Incredible atomizer. At its heart, this is a clean iris scent. Fig and sandalwood are some other notes here that help balance out that iris, making this more complex, a little more interesting of a scent than something like a Dior Homme Intense. Dior Homme Intense, as I've talked about, 10 out of 10 masterpiece scent for me. Not overly complex, pretty straightforward, linear fragrance in my opinion. But what it does to really the best of anything in terms of iris. So, but this is, again, has that iris edge to it. It's a bit powdery, but it has some complexity here because of those other notes I mentioned. And just, again, this clean undertone that adds to its versatility. Fantastic fragrance, unbelievable performance, great sillage, great projection, great longevity. This does it all. This, for me, is worth every single penny. And I'm excited to try the X straight, but not right away because this is an eau de parfum concentration, and I am pleased with this one as of right now. I don't need to upgrade just yet. I'm enjoying this one. So, Gris Charnel from BDK Parfums. This next one, I really am a fan of this house, but more so the perfumer here, Rodrigo Flores Rue, who has perfumed many fragrances for this particular designer. Scent I'm talking about is John Varvatos Vintage. And although this is not my favorite from this house, it's up there. Now, notoriously bad atomizers on these. So, oh man, this has such a unique sweetness to it. It's a complex sweetness. It has depth. It's a little dark and juicy and fruity, and really borders niche territory for me in terms of the sweetness. It's a modernized fougere. There's something in here that just feels more modern, a little more for the modern man, with this extra masculine edge coming from what smells like suede. It's a smooth leather, similar to suede, but it also has a interesting pininess to it. So it's a little earthy, but that green, cool air, piney, like you're walking through a forest with tall pines. That's what I get here, but it adds to that clean edge under here with that, again, that fougere feeling, that ferny green, clean, masculine type scent. Again, not my favorite one. I think my favorite might be the OG. I'm just addicted to the fig in that fragrance. I absolutely love it, and dates and some other sweetness with the musk, and just in love with that scent. But this is a close second for me. This one, for the price, is an absolute steal. Now, as I mentioned, performance from John Varvatos fragrances are absolutely notorious for being terrible, and part of that is the damn atomizer. This atomizer sucks. I mean, it barely puts out any juice, so I would be tempted, honestly, to change the atomizer on this to get some more juice out of there. Otherwise, you're going to spray yourself 30 times. I'm not kidding. You have to spray this heavy to even smell it. The atomizer is so bad. So just keep that in mind. I think that is not mentioned enough when we talk about the performance of these fragrances from John Varvatos. They're incredible fragrances that will get some lasting power if you overspray, and I mean overspray. John Varvatos Vintage. On Tuesday, I reached for this one. Now, traditionally, this would be considered a cool weather fragrance. Tuesday here in the Boston area, it was warm. warmer than it normally is this time of year, for sure. So the scent I reached for was one that you might not expect. Scent I'm talking about is Pure Havane from Mugler. And this is more than a winter scent for me. This is closer to things like a Xerjoff Naxos than I think it gets credit for. The Naxos is more complex. It has more depth to it. There's just more going on in that scent. Immediately in the air, I pick up this beautiful sort of sweet, almost syrupy cherry. And as this settles in, this tobacco, this honey tobacco that is just amazing. This scent lives up to the hype for me. I know this is getting harder to find. Look, I mean, I got this for $100. Periodically, it will pop up on discounters. So I will try to link this down below if I can find it at a reputable distributor. But for the most part, you're going to find this thing on eBay or in Facebook groups and things of that nature, which I don't typically link to, only because if it was me buying it, then I don't care. But I don't want to send you guys to what appears to be a trusted seller on eBay, and then you guys end up getting screwed. I do not want that to happen. But this scent, it has this honey tobacco, as I mentioned, with this clean undertone to it. I don't know if there's lavender in here. I think that's the major difference between this and the Naxos. Is the Naxos has a heavy lavender note to me, and it just is more versatile. This is still more versatile than I think it gets credit for. But yeah, super addictive. It's a casual scent at the end of the day for me. I'm really not going to wear this one dressed up or to work or anything like that. You could, don't get me wrong. I just have so many fragrances for that reason that this is more of a casual, laid back, maybe afternoon out, grabbing food with my wife or something. Nothing too serious, a buttoned up. Incredible scent, lives up to the hype for me. Pure Havane from Mugler. So this next one was kindly sent to me by my subscriber and friend Danny. Shout out to Danny for sending this one my way. I just did an unboxing video of all the fragrances he sent me. He's just trying to get rid of some of his fragrances and sort of reevaluate his collection. So he sent it to me, and I am so happy he did, because this one surprised the hell out of me. Scent I'm talking about is Cordovan Vintage from Banana Republic. Now, a couple things surprised me with this particular fragrance. One was the performance. And again, this sort of type of scent, Black Walnut Legend, when I say type of scent, I mean the bottle. This particular sort of line of fragrances from Banana Republic, they do not have the best atomizer. So I find that I have to overspray these a bit. But the day I wore this, I got surprising longevity from it. It lasted pretty much all day. I was getting whiffs of this throughout the day. What I will say is that this tiny little sticker here on the bottom, I had to use a magnifying glass to see it. It's almost impossible to see on camera. It says 2017 on it. So I know that these recently popped up at rack stores over the past year or so. And in sort of a limited run, it was one that kind of came and went. So I'm not convinced these are completely gone. My guess is you're probably going to see these come in waves. One, maybe for a stretch of a month or two, you might see these pop up along with the other one he had sent me, Arctic Slate, I believe, or Slate Arctic. Not sure which comes first, but this one, yeah, I think you're going to see it pop up more frequently. Just give it some time. Amazing scent, amazing. This one also reminds me a little bit of Mugler's Ultra Zest, and it has this beautiful orange note, probably mandarin orange because it has a sweetness to it. It almost like a coffee note in there. This is a very interesting fragrance. This is one that I found myself wanting to sniff the next day. I'm like, I want to smell that one again. This one blew me away, especially for probably the $20 price point you can find this for. You're going to pay a little more on something like an eBay. It's probably closer to 35, 40 bucks. This is a safe blind buy, and I think you guys will like this one. So yeah, Cordovan Vintage, who knew? Great scent from Banana Republic. So this next one has, for whatever reason, been a massive compliment getter for me personally. Every time I've worn this scent, I've gotten a compliment from a stranger, and this time I wore it was no exception. I was pumping gas. I was literally outside, and the person at the pump next to me just said, "Whatever you're wearing smells great. What is it?" I told him what it was. After the initial just I freeze and I can't remember what I put on that morning when I get a compliment from a fragrance. So I tried to, remind myself of what I put on. But scent I'm talking about is Supremacy in Oud from Afnan. Saffron, nutmeg, and oud wrapped in a musk is the best way to describe this. It's incredible. And I've talked about on the channel before, I would by no means call myself any type of sort of source on Middle Eastern fragrances. I am not as familiar with them as I am with designers and niche fragrances, but I'm slowly getting into them and exploring the world of Middle Eastern fragrances. This one is just, I don't know, there's something about it. It's not the highest quality scent. It doesn't smell the richest. It doesn't smell expensive or anything like that. It just, what it does really well. The spiciness, much needed sweet notes here. I don't know what's adding the sweetness. It's not a fruity sweetness. It's more of almost like a candy-like sweetness, but it's just enough to sort of balance this thing out, because this is a little bit of a medicinal oud along with those spicy notes, saffron, nutmeg. Those are the more polarizing spicy notes in fragrance, as opposed to something like a cardamom, which adds its own sweetness. So they did a good job there balancing out this scent. And the musk sort of brings it all together, makes this feel elevated in a way. So I like this one. For me, I guess it feels a little bit more dressed up than most of the times that I've worn this. I think it's a unique night out fragrance. I think you could wear this on a night out with friends, even on a date night, and impress people, because you're gonna smell different. It has a uniqueness to it compared to most night out sweet heavy fragrances. This mixes it up a bit and kind of makes you feel like you know what you're doing. So definitely give this one a try if you have not yet. Supremacy in Oud from Afnan. So this next one I picked up in my most recent rack store haul. If you guys have not checked out that video, go check it out now. Scent I am talking about is Polo Sport Fresh from Ralph Lauren. Now, this one confuses me. I do get some slight similarities to the OG, and I talk about it more in that video, how much I loved the OG and still do. And then just spraying this in the air, it's reminiscent of things like Invictus Aqua, those sort of fruity, sweet, fresh fragrances. And then it changes a little bit. It gets a little more green on my skin and a little more of a deeper aquatic type blue fragrance. So with those green nuances to it. So it changes. It's a different fragrance throughout the life of it. The biggest drawback here is the performance. The performance is dreadful. It's just non-existent practically, at least to my nose. But what threw me is that later that day, I got a compliment from it when I couldn't smell it anymore. And someone said, "You smell great. What are you wearing?" I said, really? I don't smell it. I couldn't smell it after a half hour of putting it on. So whether or not the performance here is as bad as I say it is debatable. I'd be curious to know, you guys, if you own this scent, what type of performance do you get from it? I think this may be the best gym fragrance ever created. That's just my opinion. I don't know. I feel like this is the perfect gym fragrance. There's nothing in your face overwhelming about it. The freshness is off the charts. You're not going to smell like you're wearing cologne at the gym. It's just super fresh. You smell clean, put together. Maybe a little sweaty, but you're all right. You don't smell like an Italian sub. It has this slight throwback feel to it of the OG. What reminded me of the first thing that stands out to me when I smell the OG, that's in here, but it's very subtle. So, and it's hard to describe. It just reminds me of that time, the 90s. And this somehow manages to do it. I don't know. I think this is one that I think if I wear more, I'll probably like it even more. But right now, the longevity, disappointed. Polo Sport Fresh from Ralph Lauren. Finally, on Saturday, I reached for one of the best scent profiles, best scent DNAs, in my opinion, ever created. Just incredible. Scent I'm talking about is La Nuit de l'Homme Bleu Electrique. Now, before you say that this is discontinued or you can't get it, I've been finding that this has been popping up more and more places. But, oh man, it's immediately the cardamom stands out, and the cardamom is smooth. It's creamy. It's a little bit sweet. It's spicy. It has a pop of ginger in here, making this feel more uplifting, a little bit more modern, a little more bright, versatile. The lavender here, again, it's a creamy lavender. There's a creaminess to this scent. There's a creamy undertone that just makes this super sexy, super addictive. I feel more confident wearing this version than the OG in more situations. The OG, I love it. I love the OG. But I find it more geared towards evenings out specifically. There's something about this one that makes it feel a little bit more versatile. And it's probably, again, that addition of ginger and the tweaking of the lavender here. It just makes it feel a little more balanced and ready for anything. I can't get enough of this scent DNA. I think it's incredible. It is one of those DNAs that when you first smell it, I think it's either going to live up to the hype or exceed those expectations, or it's just going to fall short and you're going to say, wow, that's what all the hype is about. It's because it's a beloved scent and people really love this one, including myself. So if you can't get your hands on Blue Electrique, I understand. I can't speak to any clones. I'm sure you guys will know of clones. You can drop it in the comment section down below for those inquiring, but go with the OG. You need this DNA in your collection, in your life. It's just incredible. I absolutely love this stuff. I'll always have it. I do have a backup bottle of this. And I will say that the performance on this is better than the current formulations of the OG. It just is. It lasts longer. I get wafts of it throughout the day. So for what it's worth, but just spray the OG heavy. You don't need Blue Electrique, but it's damn good. Really quickly, guys, I just want to give a big shout out to my subscriber, Jorge. He actually won the Deal for Man Stardom. This is a clone of Guerlain's L'Homme IDL, and he won it. So Jorge, congratulations, my man. It is on its way to you. That's all I have today, guys. As always, let me know in the comment section down below what your weekly rotation was. I always love hearing what you guys are wearing. If you like what you saw today, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video, hit that bell notification so you are updated whenever I upload new content. But until then, have a fantastic week, and I'll see you in the next video.